I hate making decisions. Well, it's not actually that I hate making decisions. I like making decisions. I think I'm just tired of constantly making decisions. But more than that, I find as my insecurity has grown over the last few years, I have not been able to make a decision and stick to it.
So I signed myself up for a 6 weeks fitness challenge. Everything I have not yet done and do have every intention of doing and hope to do by the end of this year. I have given myself 60 days to finish my book. 1 rule per month for a year.
And so maybe that's why I hate making decisions, because whenever I do, I feel this turmoil growing inside of my head of all of the other possible decisions that I could have made and how my life would have ended up because of that. I feel like prefrontal lobe development, I used to just make decisions without a care in the world. I used to have an idea and I used to just run with it and see what would happen and figure it out. And that led me to do some really cool, crazy things like start a YouTube channel and study filmmaking and start a business and start writing a book, which I have never finished. And now that I have this ability to kind of understand that everything I do has an impact on a future me, I get really scared of making decisions to screw up your life. I used to be really good at making decisions, and I'm not good at making decisions anymore. So that's what we're going to tackle today. How do you know whether a person is trustworthy? It comes from them saying that they're going to do something and then sticking to it, being a person of their word. I think back to the old days of knights and lords and ladies where a person's word was their entire worth. That they would go to war based on a person's word because that was everything. What they said was a true reflection of what they meant, and that they would do that. They would ride to war. And I want to be a person who says I'm going to do something and then does it. And I want to be able to trust myself. Because after years of saying that I'm going to do things and then never following through, I struggle to believe myself even. I don't have a lot of trust in myself and my capabilities. And that really just comes from proving that I am a trustworthy person to me. So that's kind of how we ended up here. This is the decision book. I got this idea from Copenhagen. I saw a little one, it was like 23 euros. But it was literally just a tiny little book that said decision booklet. And you could just write down your decisions. I got this one for €1. It's not as pretty, but it does the job. So the concept behind this is that every time you want to make a decision, you write down that decision and you follow through. Concrete them. Carve them in stone, if you will. Make them real and tangible and something that you can't just think a thought and not follow through on. I would suggest, if you don't trust yourself, start with something easy. Don't go, oh, I'm gonna train every single day for 3 hours a day when you barely get up out of bed. I think start with small things. I'm gonna wash the dishes, and then get up and go wash the dishes. And don't let those other thoughts cloud your mind. Oh, I could be using this time to do something else, or I could be, just do it.
Just do it!
Don't think about it and just do it.
Do it!
Don't let the overwhelming cloud of anxiety take away from your capability of doing things. Because we are very much people of action. But more than that, we're people of words that then become action. That felt very profound. My first decision. I am going to buy a reading journal. Why, Shaylin, would that be the first decision that you make? In other news, I have been really struggling with the concept of spending money on myself. Having lived very tight-fisted and come from a background of not that much money, I really struggle with the concept of believing that I can just buy something. I'm very particular about what I spend my money on, and I'm very proud of the fact that I don't give my money to these corporations that I don't believe in, and my money is mine that I've worked really hard for, and I believe that money is so much of how society functions, and so I want to play a conscious role in that. But also I lack the self-worth to spend that money on myself. Just struggle to believe that I deserve that when I could do something for my family or for the church or for my friends or for my business. I really struggle to just buy something for me and for my own enjoyment and for my own goals and achievements, especially if it's not going to be seen by the world. Struggle to see the worth in self-worth. So I decided I was going to spend some money on myself, and it's really scary. And I decided what it is. And I tossed up between quite a few things. Should I get my hair cut, or should I buy something for the business, or should I buy paints? Finding paints, these awful blue walls that I hate. But I decided to get something for myself that felt like a splurge, something that I could enjoy. There is a reading journal I have had my eye on forever, and it is the Moleskine reading journal. I love Moleskine. I think they're beautiful. I think they're really durable and good quality, and I just have it in my mind, and I'm just gonna go for it. I'm not gonna overthink it. I'm just gonna go to the shops and I'm gonna buy it. So how did I end up on a reading journal? If you're interested, one of my goals this year is to read 12 books. Might not sound like a lot to a lot of people, but it's a good solid number for me. I read 10 last year, so 12 doesn't seem that much of a reach. I really enjoy reading. And when I think about who I want to be in the future, it is a person who is always reading and learning and growing, and just someone who walks around with a book in their bag all the time. I want to move away from doom scrolling. I want to move away from giving my attention to corporations. I want to enjoy real, tangible, human-made stories, and I want to live in worlds beyond my own. But also, I live in a tiny apartment in Dublin and can't have a library. One day when I own my own house, I will have a library. But for now, I have books and I read them, and I either borrow them from the library or from friends or buy them secondhand and then, donate them again or sell them again. But I don't want to hold on to them. But I also have a really terrible memory. And I want to be able to remember the books I've read and have tangible evidence that I did that thing and I read that book and I had thoughts about that book and I had opinions. In a way to achieve this, I started sharing it on Instagram and stuff, and I just get warped into that whole fighting the algorithm and trying to get likes and trying to make it as aesthetic as possible, and when really I just wanted it for me. As the world of AI grows and swallows this whole, I find myself moving more and more towards analog and things not for sharing. Things just for Shaylin to experience. Because it's hard when I love doing this, but I don't want this to be the only reason that I do anything. So yeah, let's go buy a reading journal. I am determined to not let the weather get to me today. So, let's go on a solo date. It's blue. In my mind, this was this. And I really don't like the color of this. I don't know what
to do. There's also this one, which is pretty, but I'm literally never going to use these pages. Here's what I'm thinking. This is a reclaimed classic book that they just basically rebind with plain paper. Now, it would be a lot more work because I would have to like put the grid in, but this way I guess I can control exactly what I want. So it was between this and like just a lined moleskin book, and I do like the fact that the lined moleskin book is lined. But in terms of like who I want to be in the world, I think reclaimed secondhand books is probably it, and this will probably last me a really, really, really long time. So it's 30 euros, and on the side it says the story of England, makers of the realm. I think that's pretty badass, so I think I'm gonna go for that.
I did it. I bought the journal. I love this. This is very much me. The only thing is that I know I will struggle to use this if I don't have like a framework within the book to use. But what's nice about a blank notebook is that I can make that framework whatever I want. And so I have convinced my husband to 3D print me a stencil, which I'm going to design. And it's gonna say name, date completed, star review, favorite quotes, notes. Honestly, that could just fit onto one page, and that's all I really want to write. I don't want to go into these crazy detail 4-page reviews of books. Like, I just want a library that I can take around the world and remember everything that I've read, and remember that I am a person who does things and is working towards the person she wants to be. Immediately after buying it, I had the doubts creep into my mind. Should I have spent that money on something more responsible? Immediately I was like, maybe I should have just bought a different type of book. Like, there's so many options. Maybe I should have like gone online and looked for ones online that actually suit my needs, or, you know, and the constant noise in your mind, it's exhausting. So I'm gonna leave this as this, a decision made and followed through, and it didn't end up exactly the way that I wanted it to, but it was made and it's done. And so all of that crazy thoughts can just, I still spent my money in a way that I am proud of, and a company that I really like and support, and that aligns with my values in life. I can be proud of that. This is not money wasted, as much as the demon on my shoulder might be screaming at me. I'm allowed to make decisions, and I'm allowed to spend money on myself. So I am going to design that stencil, and honestly, this might even last me the rest of my life. Like, do you think I'm going to read this many books in my lifetime? This will become my library, which is really cute and super exciting. So yes, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to design a stencil and give it a go. And that honestly makes me want to make another decision. I wonder what it will be. Okay, bye.